So today, this is my first video on this channel, and today we are talking about the obelisk structure deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, obelisk is one of the Egyptian god cards. There are 3 of them. Obelisk, Slifer, and Ra. And I will just be showing you deck based off of them, and all the cards in it, except for one alteration, which say in the comments if you see. So, first 3 monsters. We'll have 3 nimble monoganas. Now, the reason you have 3 of them is because this deck is really good at both helping you to get obelisk and getting as many monsters. Due to this card's effect, which when it's destroyed by battle, you can send to the graveyard, you gain 1,000 life points and special summon any number of those cards. It both helps get more monsters on the field for obelisk summoning requirement, and it's 1,000 life points if it's destroyed, so that can help either buff the damage, either lower the amount that you take from that hit, or just help you in general to gain 1,000 life points back. Now, for the next cards, 2 Photon Saber Tigers are in the deck. Their effect is that you can add one of them into your hand if it's normal or flipped summoned, and if you do not control another one, it loses 800 attack. Another good one for getting more monsters on the field, but it has the consequence of if you don't have another one out, it loses 800 attack. Now we're doing 3 Ra's Disciples. The reason Ra's Disciples is because basically their effect is you cannot tribute them for anything but the Egyptian gods, but you can special summon 2 more of them if you summon 1 from your deck or hand. But the consequence is you cannot do any more special summons for as long as you have any Ra's Disciples out on the field. That's their one consequence. Now the next is, we're just going to the one-ofs. Now it's Hardened Armed Dragon. Its effect is basically you can equip a card if you tribute this card for a high-level monster, that monster cannot be destroyed by card effects. It's just a really good card, or to help boost other cards if you use it for tributing. Cyber Dragon is just a good card to have, especially in an opening hand if you go second. It's basically you can just summon it if only your opponent has a monster. Just a generally good card to have especially if you're just trying to get monsters out. Now, Unmasked Dragon, this one lets you special summon 1 Worm monster with 1,500 or less defense from your deck when it is sent to the graveyard, which is good, especially in specifically this deck for what we'll see later. Now this is a good card because this card lets you add a monster whose attack is equal to its own defense. It's a Mizamake, the Fearsome Fanged Fortress. It also is good if you have a lot of banished cards because you can summon it without tributing, and when you thing is the adding a monster to your hand whose attack is equal to its own defense, but you have to discard a card. That effect is really good. This card is really good for getting obelisk into your hand because of that effect. Now, Mirrors Yuka, the Festive Fox of Versatility. This one is good because it lets you special summon one, which can let you special summon the card that we just showed in here from your main deck. And you can target a monster your opponent controls. You can special summon this card from your hand. You can also special summon this card from your hand if any monsters are special summoned from the extra deck. From the main deck. Now, Angel of One, it's in this deck, and it may have a use that I don't currently know of that helps the deck, but it's just in this deck. Then, Nimble Beaver. Nimble Beaver, its effect is when it's normal summoned, you can special summon one level 3 or a lower nimble monster from your deck or graveyard. That one's decent because it lets you summon the nimble Montagana. Now, Bozo the Soul Eater, it just gains 300 attack for every monster you can banish from. You can banish up to 3 monsters from your graveyard. It does lose that attack after the end of your opponent's turn. Now, this is the Wyrm that is good to be summoned with Unmasked Dragon. It's called Mare. Its effect is it cannot be special summoned except by the effects of a Wyrm monster. And during your main phase, you can reduce this card's level if you do special summon one Mare token. One mini Mare token from the deck, and that's good because it just allows more monsters for tributing, because Obelisk requires 3 tributes. Now this is the Evil Swarm Montagana Dragon. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this from your hand. That is good because it's just an easy way to get a monster out. Condemned Witch, you can sacrifice this card during your opponent's turn for a fairy type monster, which is good for summon 1 level 4, because it's good to summon Ra's Disciple. And also, when you summon it, you can add 1 forbidden spell card to your hand, which is really good. Good for using those. This is Evil Swarm. Is that it's basically sort of like Bozo the Soul Eater, but you can only banish 1 monster. Super Nimble Mega Hamster, that one's good, is because it has a very similar effect to the Beaver, Super Nimble Mega Hamster, but it's a flip effect, and that's the only downside, instead of just a normal summoning effect. Then last but not least, Obelisk the Tormentor. Its effect is requires 3 tributes to normal summon, cannot be normal set. This card's normal summon cannot be negated. When normal summon, this card's effects cards and effects cannot be activated. Neither player can target this card with card effects. Once per turn during the opponent's phase, if this card was special summoned, send it to the graveyard. You contribute 2 monsters and destroy all monsters your opponent controls. This card cannot declare an attack. This turn was activated. That's really good. It's just a good boss. It's a good boss monster, especially if you're playing casual. Most decks I will show on this channel will be casual decks. And those are all the monsters for the deck. Now to the next section, spells. Okay, now for the spell cards. First will be Forbidden Lance. Forbidden Lance lets you target a face-up monster until the end of the turn. That monster loses 800 attack, but is unaffected by the effects of other spells or traps, which is good, especially if you have a monster that you need to defend from like a mirror force or something. So you equipped it to that real quick, just to defend from like a mirror force. Monster Reborn, it's just a decent monster to have. It's just a decent card to have, especially in like casual decks. Which it lets you target one monster in either player's graveyard, special summon it. The Monarch Stormforce, it takes a bit of reading, but basically it lets you tribute one of your opponent's monster, even though it's not yours. Forbidden Chalice, you can target a monster on the field. It gains 400 until the end of the attack. Till the end of the turn, it gains 400 attack, but its effects are negated. That one is decent because if you need to get your monster more attack, but it doesn't have any effect, but it doesn't have like a good effect, it's good for that. And if your opponent has low enough attack that you'll still defeat it either way, and you just need to negate their effect, that's what it's good for. Brain Control, just pay 800 life points and target one of your opponent's monsters and take control of it till the end phase. Decent card to just have, especially casual decks. Pot of Avarice, you can draw 2 cards, but you have to have 5 monsters in your graveyard and shuffle them into your deck, and then you can draw 2 cards. A good card to have, especially in casual decks, as most of these spells will be. Now, Double Summon, it's another one. It basically lets you do 2 normal summons. If you know the two normal summons instead of 1. If you know the rules of Yu-Gi-Oh, you can only do 1 normal summon per turn. Now for the 2 obelisk cards. Fist of Fate, it just basically lets you destroy one of your opponent's monsters, and if you activate the effect on your turn, it destroys all of your opponent's spells and traps. Now, Soul Crossing. Soul Crossing, during your main phase, immediately after the effects resolve, you can tribute it and tribute a Divine Beast monster and one of your opponent's monsters, and you can only activate one on card effect per turn, not counting the effects of Divine Beast. So basically, it's good. Basically, it's good because it lets you tribute summon one of your monsters, and it makes it where no effects can be activated except for yours when you tribute summon in a Divine Beast monster. Really good opening for Obelisk when you summon Obelisk out on the field. Now for the actually a little more spells. Sorry about that. Divine Evolution, another card for Obelisk. It can be used on any Divine Beast, but for Obelisk specifically, when the card declares an attack, they have to send one of their monsters to the graveyard of their choice, and the monster also gains 1,000 attack. That's a really good card. Supply Squad, when a monster is destroyed, you draw 1 card. That's really good. It's just really good, especially casual decks. And Forbidden Dress, this one, target one monster on the field, it cannot be destroyed, but it loses 600 attack, which is just a really good effect for protecting one of your cards. Now the traps. This never mind again. Sorry, I'm a little messy. The card pile that I'm different dimension capsule. It lets you put one of your cards from your deck to banishment, and then two standby phases afterwards you get the card. Really good for getting Obelisk into your hand. Now we go to these. So first, the Dust Tornado. Dust Tornado lets you destroy one of your opponent's spells or traps, and you can set one spell or trap from your hand. Really good card. Really good trap, especially against spells. Call of the Haunted lets you special summon one of your monsters, but if this card is destroyed, or you send it to the graveyard, or if the monster is destroyed, you send the card to the graveyard. It's basically a good substitute for Monster Reborn if you can't use Monster Reborn. Level Resist Wall, basically when one of your monsters is destroyed, you can summon monsters equal to its total level, which is good, especially if like a powerful monster is destroyed out. Drowning Mirror Force, when your opponent declares a direct attack, all of your opponent's attack position monsters are shuffled into the deck, which is really good for if you don't have any cards out, but you need to delay your opponent's attack. And last but not least, cloning. Basically, when your opponent summons a monster, you can place down a token that is equal to basically the same as that monster, except for effect. It doesn't have the effect. Now that is all. I hope you guys also all have a nice day and have a nice life. I hope you like and subscribe. Bye.